With an assembled team, we were more than ready to jump onto the project. But unfortunately, due to global shipping delays, the project will be pushed back another 4 months.
Luckily, we had time while waiting to sit down with everyone and figure out a direction for the motorcycle, including the design, a timeline. It allowed us to be more prepared for the build.
Throughout these calls, we all had our roles to play. Shake helped us to focus on the prompt that was given to us by Yamaha. Our technical design expert would implement all of our design choices. And Dragos and Alex had their own responsibilities as well.
We had the good fortune of bringing some really incredible people onto the team. So you have some very talented designers with big ideas with really great direction.
Because everybody was planning to do the best possible, and I was always okay, but that's amazing, but how am I going to build that? How am I going to connect that to the chassis? How is that going to work? So I was thinking on the technical stuff.
And me also kind of the design portion, but also having to build it with Alex is like, I want to do the really cool, like wild stuff, but I'm like, take a step back, be realistic.
It's easy to dream big when building a motorcycle, or designing anything for that matter. But like most projects, you have to throttle back on your dreams based on a couple other factors.
The XSR 900 is an 80s inspired sport heritage model that Yamaha came out with new this year. So this is the second generation of the XSR 900. So we decided to build an 80s inspired motorcycle with Yamaha yard built.
Even with the prompt of an 80s inspired race bike given to us, and having pictures of the XSR 900 to look at, the design would constantly evolve as more information would come in. Going from a 2D drawing to a 3D bike sitting in front of you doesn't always translate. That's why we're glad we had Shake on the team. Shake is the king of aesthetic. He understands the language of lines and color and speaks fluently in design. He also races and has an abundance of knowledge when it comes to 80s race bikes. After Shake provided more input, the team was ready to lift the hood and see what was underneath.
But once we had a concept sketch going, that was great. It got us even more excited. I feel like there's a lot of momentum that builds the more and more you talk about the design. But then once we got the bike and took apart the bodywork, more ideas just came in.
Being able to take off just a few things, especially the tank and the seat, allow us to see mounting points and the actual true dimensions of the frame. Comparing that to the sketches, we can see where we're too wide or too thin, or where we need to modify to accommodate for those mounting needs. Taking on this new way of building may make it easier in some ways, but that doesn't mean the workload gets any lighter. One consistent thread from last year's Built for Good to this year's Yard Built for Good. Any solution or idea that we come up with for a piece of design on the bike will eventually lead to more issues that need to be solved.
I love to bite off more than I can chew. And of course I did it this time too. But we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done.